My beloved child, do not let the dim, illusory mirrors of this life steal away the eternal portion I have prepared for you. Every choice you think harmless today is weaving invisible threads that shape the destiny of your soul tomorrow. The world may soothe you with promises that quickly fade, but only my will can guard your heart from going astray. You are walking through a world whose sweetness hides a poison, cloaked in glittering shells. You believe you hold freedom in your hands, yet those very hands tighten invisible cords, pulling you downward into the abyss. I am not silent so that you collapse alone, for my will is the only way out of this long delusion of the world. Deception has never come with its true face. It wears the garments of freedom, instant bliss, and sweet power to cloud your eyes. Hatred, lust, and greed sown into your heart by the world burn like a bright flame for a moment, then slowly consume the soul. My child, this world is skilled at hiding its claws beneath splendid robes. It spreads before you dazzling feasts and hangs radiant crowns as though they were rewards for those who seize opportunities. Yet behind the curtain lies only a trap long prepared. Satan does not come roaring, but as a companion, as a gentle whisper brushing the ear. You think you walk in freedom, yet each step tightens the unseen chains around your soul. My heart grieves to see so many of my children lose eternal life for a fleeting mirage. The root of error lies in spiritual eyes veiled and dim. People think freedom means doing whatever they please without accountability. That illusion becomes the bait the enemy has painstakingly sown into your soul. It whispers that hatred makes you strong, desire fills your emptiness, and greed opens the path to power. Yet those promises are like flames flashing for a moment. When they die, only ashes and darkness remain. I did not create you to be like a thirsty wanderer hastily drinking poison, but to drink from the living, cool spring flowing from me alone. Look again at Esau, who for a single bowl of red stew lost his birthright. Do you see that it was not merely an exchange of food, but a testimony of blindness to eternal value? He chose to satisfy a temporary hunger, neglecting the blessing I had prepared for his lineage. Today, the world entices you the same way, trading eternal life for a brief fullness. But I want you to learn from this example. Do not, for a momentary hunger, make yourself one who loses everything. For once the blessing is sold, it is hard to reclaim, and the wound becomes a lifelong reminder. My child, I did not fashion you to be imprisoned in the flames of lust or hatred. I call you out back to the true light. Only when you awaken will you discern what is a disguise of darkness and what is true freedom. If you return, I will loosen every cord, dry every bruise upon your soul, and open for you the vast sky already prepared. Do not let the empty promises of the world devour your youth, your faith, and your innocent heart. I know the world has never ceased to set up glittering mirrors to deceive the eyes. It builds thrones of power and prepares sweet banquets so that you think this is your life's destination. But behind that light lies an abyss drenched in darkness. Not every light comes from me. Many lights are but distorted reflections of darkness, like pale moonlight used by the enemy to obscure the true Sunday. And when you recognize this, you will begin to thirst for truth, because truth does not fade like those illusions. Why do so many fall before temptation? Because within them is a void not filled by me. They seek joy in perishable things, love in lust, and comfort in drink and forced laughter. Yet these only deepen the emptiness already within. Like one who drinks seawater when thirsty, the more they drink, the thirstier they become, until both body and soul are exhausted. You too may fall into this spiral if you do not awaken and stop. Remember, Satan never appears with his true face. He does not stand before you shouting, "Destroy life," but whispers, "Enjoy yourself. You deserve more." He does not place iron chains in your hands, but weaves golden threads so you think they are ornaments. By the time you realize it, the threads are already tightened around your wrists and heart, and then you will see the freedom you held was only a deception. I do not want you to be deceived, so I warn you today. Think of the woman brought before Jesus accused of adultery. The world stood ready to stone her, and Satan whispered into her ear that her life was over. But my son stooped to write on the ground and said, "Let the one without sin cast the first stone." Do you see, darkness always seeks to destroy the soul, but I always seek to restore it. That woman thought she had lost everything, yet with a single word from Jesus, her entire life was transformed. Do not think you have gone too far, for even when the world condemns, I offer a way out. You must understand, each time you chase the world, you agree with the enemy that eternal life is not worth as much as a fleeting moment. Each time you choose hatred instead of forgiveness, lust instead of true love, you allow darkness to touch your soul. I have not abandoned you, but you are slowly distancing yourself from me. And I know that the farther you go, the more lost you become, the deeper you are drawn into a spiral without escape. But with a single cry, a single lifting of your eyes, I will immediately draw you out of the abyss. Awaken, my child. Look closely. Do the things the world paints truly bring peace? After every indulgence, does your soul feel lighter or emptier? After every fleeting pleasure, are you truly satisfied or hungrier still? Deception has never produced fulfillment. It only prolongs the emptiness. Only my will can heal the thirst at the root of your soul. I call you out of that false dream. Do not chase promises of instant joy, for they are but velvet-covered traps. Let me teach you that freedom is not doing whatever you wish, but being delivered from the power of darkness. Then you will truly know the meaning of wings unbound, rising without chains dragging you down. And only in obedience to me will your heart be satisfied with peace and true purpose. My child, hear me. This world will continue to deceive, to promise, to erect 1,000 illusions. But all these things will one day vanish like morning mist under the Sunday. Do not become one who chases shadows only to wake and find you have missed the path of life. I call you today, in this very moment, return. Let me hold you close, wash away the dust, remove the chains, and lead you on the path of true light. And from here, you will see that my will is not a shackle, but the only way out of the world's trance. The world has shown you deceit, but I will show you the way of life. From deception you will thirst for truth. From chains you will understand the value of freedom. And in that moment you will be ready to step into this truth, my will, the doorway to eternal life. My will is not a cage for your soul. It is the key that opens the way into true life, where freedom is no longer an illusion, but a living eternal spring. When you obey, you lose nothing. Rather, you gain everything: peace, purpose, and a joy no power can steal. And when hardship comes, do not mistake it for my abandonment. Even in pressure and nights of tears, I am refining you like gold in fire. I gather every sob, every hidden prayer to pour out at the right time as a rain of blessing. Delay, loneliness, or pain are not to crush you, but to build you for a new season. You must realize the world and the enemy have never ceased to whisper lies into your ears. They paint a picture of freedom, but it is only chains cleverly gilded. They pour promises of instant joy into your heart, but it is only a brief flame burning the soul. If you do not awaken, that counterfeit light will lead you far from life itself. My child, after seeing the true face of deception, you will realize the emptiness in your soul cannot be filled with anything but my will. The world has offered you fading promises, but I give you the way of eternal life. My will is not a prison nor a chain for your soul. It is a lighthouse in the night, a staff for the trembling, a breath that keeps you standing in the storm. When you choose to follow, you will see that obedience to me does not take away freedom, but delivers you from the chains of darkness. My will is like a door opening into a garden of peace. You have grown used to the rough, thorny paths the world has laid, so when you see my path, you think it is a restriction. But truly it is the very way that keeps you from the hidden abyss behind the mist. I do not make laws to confine you, but give words to preserve life. Like a father telling his child not to run into the street, I tell you not to leave the path of life. All my words are to give you life, not loss. Remember Israel in the wilderness. I gave them the 10 commandments, not to bind them, but to keep them from destruction among the nations. Without limits they would ruin themselves with idols, violence, and death. But when they walked in my ways, I reigned. Manna brought water from the rock and covered them with cloud in the burning desert. Do you see my will is always tied to life, and that life is not just for one, but for a whole people? My will does not take freedom from you, but gives you the power to discover true freedom. For true freedom is not chasing every desire, but being freed from the yoke of sin. People living in sin think they are in control, but are ruled by lust, hatred, and fear. When you walk in my will, your wings will feel light, lifting you from the mire that has held you for so long. And then you will know that true freedom is the ability to love without limit, forgive without fatigue, and rejoice without clinging to what perishes. Imagine a rushing river that could sweep you away at any time. If you swim by your own will, you will tire and drown. But if you hold to the boat I have prepared, you will reach the shore safely. My will is that boat, appearing restrictive but truly the only means to keep you alive. The world calls it a shackle, but you will know that only in obedience can you truly live and live abundantly. There will be times when the path I lead seems too narrow, too plain, lacking the charm of the world's road. But my child, the wide road leads to destruction while the narrow leads to life. I want you to know that life is not in wandering steps of aimless freedom, but in walking with me. In that small-looking path you will find eternal treasures the world cannot give. And once you taste it, you will no longer crave old illusions. Remember Jesus in Gethsemane. He prayed, "Father, if it is possible, take this cup from me, yet not my will but yours be done." In his most severe moment, he chose to obey my will, and that obedience opened the way of salvation for all humanity. Do you see? Obedience is not loss, but entrance into a greater plan that brings life to many. You too, each time you choose. My will not only save yourself, but become an instrument of life for others. You know the path I lead does not always glitter like festival lights or overflow with music intoxicating the soul. It may be narrow, lonely, seemingly unremarkable, but precisely there real life awaits you. The world paints a grand picture, hanging signs of freedom, happiness, pleasure over its way. But all is only paint covering a path of snares leading to the abyss. My will, by contrast, wears no glamorous robe, but is the only road leading to life that never fades. Do not think I give laws to shackle you. No, my child, my commands and teachings are fences of protection. Like a father seeing his child near the cliff runs to hold him back, scolding, but with love and safety in his voice. You cannot see all the hidden abysses ahead. That is why my will is a guardrail keeping you from falling into the bottomless pit. You may not understand now, but one day you will look back and know the limits I set were to keep your soul intact. Consider Abraham. When I called him out of his homeland, he did not know where he was going, had no map in his hand, but he obeyed, believing my will leads to life. What was the result? He became the father of many nations, and through his line salvation came to all mankind. Do you see? The path I opened for him was not easy, but it held eternal promise. Obedience sometimes requires leaving temporary safety, but in return you inherit a treasure no one can take away. I often think that losing the power to decide for myself is losing my very self. But the truth is that when I obey you, I do not lose my identity. On the contrary, I find who I truly am. The world blinds me with a distorted concept of freedom to do whatever I want without thinking about the consequences. Yet the true freedom you give is the ability to break free from the chains of sin. I can choose forgiveness over hatred, kindness over selfishness, humility over pride. This is real freedom, the freedom to love, to live, as you created me from the very beginning. Look at the life of Joseph. Sold by his brothers, falsely accused and thrown into prison, he could easily have grown bitter, hateful, and used power to take revenge when the chance came. Yet he chose to follow your will. That obedience turned the prison into a stepping stone, tares into seeds for the harvest. In the end, he not only saved himself, but also his family and his nation from famine. My child, my will is not always pleasant, but it always leads to a life far more abundant than anything you could imagine. I know there will be times when you feel this path is narrow, full of trials, even marked by loneliness. You will ask, why does God lead me on such a hard road? But my child, the narrow road is what keeps you from distractions, from being swept away by meaningless noise. On this road you learn to listen, to cling to me, to let each step become a step in the light. Do not fear the narrow road, for it is the very way that leads to life. My will does not stop at protection, it also brings peace. This peace is not like the counterfeit silence the world offers for a moment. My peace is a warm fire in the winter night, a steady shield in the midst of storms. It does not depend on circumstances, on success or failure. You may lose possessions, friends, even health, but when you live in my will, you still hold a peace that nothing can break. That peace is the mark that your soul is kept in my embrace. My child, one of the greatest lies of the enemy is to make you believe that my will robs you of joy. It whispers, if you follow God, you'll lose all excitement, all earthly pleasures. But look closely, do the joys of this world truly last? After laughter comes emptiness, after intoxication comes darkness, after passion comes regret. True joy is only found in my will, where you discover the purpose of your life and a delight nothing can take away. It is when you live according to my word that you know what eternal joy truly is. Remember that Jesus not only taught you with his words, but lived obedience unto death. In the Garden of Gethsemane he prayed, not my will but yours be done. He walked the painful road so that eternal life could come to mankind. Do you see, obedience is not small or weak. It is the very strength that breaks death and opens the way to life. When you also choose obedience, you step into that same stream of life and become a bearer of light to the world. I invite you into my will not to make you a slave, but to make you a free child. You will see how every small decision to forgive, to love, to pray, to turn from sin opens a new door. These small steps weave an entire life in the light. You do not need to see the whole road. Only know that my hand holds you each day. And as you walk, you will discover that my will is always wider, higher, and deeper than anything your mind can comprehend. My child, trust me. The world will keep pouring sweet promises into your ears, offering shortcuts that seem easy, but they all lead to loss. Remember, there is no gray zone. My will always leads to life, while the enemy's will leads only to death. Choose me, and you will walk in the light. And from here you will understand that trials are not abandonment, but my way of refining you, making you pure gold, preparing you for the new season I have appointed. My beloved child, many times in life you will walk through dark valleys where the light seems to fade and laughter falls silent. In those moments you sigh and ask, has God abandoned me? But my child, do not rush to conclude that. I have never abandoned any of my children. When you sense silence, it is not my absence, but my presence, in another form, quiet, hidden like a blacksmith, placing iron into the fire, not to destroy it, but to temper it, to make it strong and useful. Trials are like fire. That fire burns hot, causes pain, makes you want to flee. But it is the same fire that burns away the dross clinging to your soul. I do not lead you into fire to consume you, but to purify you. Like gold, only when it is melted does it shine and become precious. Do not fear the fire, for the fire only proves who you truly are, revealing the beauty long hidden within. It is easy to think of trials as abandonment because you are used to seeing with fleshly eyes. When you lose a job, you think I have turned away. When you fall sick, you think I am silent. When you are betrayed, you assume I am no longer near. Yet you do not know that in those very moments I draw closest. You are like a child learning to walk. When a father lets go, it is not neglect, but the way for you to grow. Trials are the opportunities I give you to learn trust and to stand firm. Remember the story of Job. He was a righteous man, yet he endured bitter losses. His children, his wealth, his health. He sat in ashes while friends mocked him, and his wife urged him to curse me. Yet he remained faithful. Afterward, he received twice what he had lost, but more importantly, he saw me with his own eyes. Do you see? Trials did not crush Job, but refined him, showing that true faith shines brightest when tested by fire. Trials are also like barren soil. When a seed falls there, it must endure darkness, rain, sun, and wind. But through this it germinates, rises, and bears fruit. Do you want to be a seed that yields much fruit? Then you must be willing to go through seasons of hard ground, darkness, and storms. Do not see this as abandonment. See it as my way of preparing you for a great harvest. My child, in the nights when your tears fall long, I do not turn away. I gather each drop, each sigh, each silent prayer. None are lost. I keep them like morning dew to one day pour over your parched field at the right time. I forget no prayer, disregard no sob. All become evidence of my love and providence. Trials make you weak, but it is in your weakness that my power is fully revealed. Do you remember the Apostle Paul? He begged me to remove the thorn in the flesh, but I said, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. It was when Paul no longer relied on his own strength that he saw my grace overflow. You too, when you no longer cling to your own ability, will learn how my grace upholds each step. Sometimes trials come as delays. You pray, but nothing seems to happen. You wait, but time drifts on. You think I am silent, but my child, delay is not denial. I slow things, so you may learn patience, trust, and deeper dependence on me. I slow so that at the right season the blessing you receive is complete, not a fragile gift that breaks quickly. Trust that my timing is always perfect, even when you cannot see it. Sometimes, trials come in the form of loneliness. Friends turn away, family does not understand, and you feel abandoned in the flow of life. But remember, even Jesus was left by his disciples, who slept, denied by Peter, forsaken by all. The road he walked was so you would know that when you are lonely, you are never truly alone. I am always there, quietly walking beside you, teaching you to lean only on me. I want you to understand, trials are a school where you are trained to become a precious instrument. Like a potter spinning clay, pressing, striking, shaping. The clay cries out, but in the end it becomes a beautiful vessel. So it is with you. If you let me mold you through trials, you will become a worthy vessel to bring life to many. Do not refuse this process, for only through it will you truly be prepared. My child, see trials as an invitation to draw closer to me. Do not run, do not complain, do not resent. Open your heart and see my hand holding you even in pain. Believe that every drop of sweat, every tear has meaning. One day you will look back and realize the hardest moments were the times you were renewed the most. When you thought you were weakest was when my strength shone brightest. Remember that glory never comes from an easy road. As athletes endure harsh training and soldiers go through grueling discipline, you too must pass through trials to mature. I do not seek children who are fragile and easily crushed. I want you to be a steadfast warrior, able to stand in the day of trouble. Only through the fire will you know how strong you are in my grace. My child, do not let trials become an excuse to drift from me. Let them be the reason you draw nearer. Do not let suffering harden your heart. Let it soften you, for only a soft heart can fully feel my love. Turn pain into an offering, tears into prayer, and loneliness into an encounter with me in the depths. I know you may ask, when will this trial end? My child, I do not promise the fire will go out instantly, but I promise to walk with you in it. I do not promise you will never be in deep waters, but I promise the waves will not drown you. The important thing is not when it ends, but whether you trust that I am there. If you believe you will see, the fire only makes you shine brighter. The water only cleanses you deeper, never destroys. Remember, I am the blacksmith, you are the metal. I am the potter, you are the clay. I am the vineyard, you are the branch. Each role requires shaping, testing, pruning, but the result is always growth, strength, and glory. Trials are never meaningless. They are an essential chapter in your journey with me. And when you understand this, you will no longer fear trials, but welcome them as part of my loving plan. My child, I call you to stand firm. Do not let the night deceive you into thinking the dawn will not come. Do not let the storm make you believe the sky has disappeared. Night is only for a while. Dawn surely rises. The storm is only a trial. The blue sky still remains. Hold on to faith, hold my hand, for I promise never to abandon you. And when you understand that trials are not abandonment but refinement, you will be ready to receive blessings. Yet blessings, my child, are not for your pride but for your service. In blessing you will learn to share, to become an instrument, bringing love, hope, and truth to those who thirst. This is the next step I want you to take. My beloved, many times when I give you blessings, health, wealth, knowledge, relationships, you easily think they are proof of your merit, that you are better than others. The world tempts you to boast, to build walls of pride around yourself. But I want you to remember, blessings are never given to make you grow in arrogance, but to make you bow lower in service. If blessings are kept for yourself, they become invisible chains. But when you share them, they become a river, refreshing many. Blessings are like the bread and fish I gave to the crowd in the wilderness. When I broke and gave them to the disciples, they never ran out. The more they were given, the more there was. Understand, my grace is never closed, but always given to flow outward. If the disciples had kept it for themselves, no one would have been fed. But when they distributed it, 5,000 were filled, and 12 baskets overflowed. Do you see blessings multiply only when used to serve, not when clutched tightly? You easily misunderstand, because the human heart always craves to be exalted. From ancient times, mankind sought to build a tower to reach the heavens to make a name for themselves. But that tower fell. Their language was confused because they forgot. Blessings are not for boasting, but for obedience and my glory. My child, whenever you use blessings to prove yourself, you walk the same road as those builders, lofty but soon collapsing. Remember King Solomon. I gave him unmatched wisdom, wealth, and honor. But when he used that wisdom to chase idols and indulge his desires, the blessing became a burden and the kingdom split. Blessings lose their meaning when they no longer serve my purpose or my people. Be watchful. What I give you is not for building your own kingdom, but for contributing to my eternal kingdom. My child, blessings are also like rain from heaven. If rain stagnates in one puddle, it becomes a breeding ground for decay. But if it flows into rivers, watering fields, nurturing trees, it stays fresh and life-giving. So it is with the blessings I give you. If you keep them for yourself, your soul becomes stagnant. But if you share them, the land around you will bloom and you yourself will overflow even more. Look at David. I gave him victory over Goliath, not so that he might boast of his strength, but so that he might become an inspiration to the people of Israel, so that the whole nation would know that I am the Almighty God. I made him king not so that he could build for himself a palace of luxury, but so that he might lead my people in justice and truth. Yet when he forgot his purpose, when he took Bathsheba and arranged the death of Uriah, blessing turned into a wound. Learn from this: blessing retains its value only when it is rooted in the spirit of service. The blessing you receive is also your responsibility. I give you health so that you may care for the sick. I give you wealth so that you may nourish the needy. I give you words so that you may encourage the despairing. I give you wisdom so that you may bring light to those still in darkness. If you hold it back for yourself, the blessing will wither away, but if you pour it out, it will blossom and multiply 100-fold. You often ask, but do I have the right to enjoy what I have? I tell you, of course, you may partake of your blessing, but do not make it your center. Like a farmer who eats of his harvest yet keeps seed for the next season, if he consumes it all, he will face hunger in the days to come. You too must enjoy your blessing with gratitude, yet never forget to reserve a portion to sow into the lives of others. Only then will you sustain abundant life. You easily fall into pride when receiving blessing because you forget its source. You imagine you are talented, that you worked hard, that you deserved it, and so it was given. But ask yourself, do you hold your own breath? Did you create your own life? All comes from me. If you remember that every blessing flows from my hand, you will never dare to exalt yourself. Gratitude naturally births generosity, for a thankful heart always opens the way for giving. My child, look at the very life of Jesus. He had unmatched power. He could have called legions of angels to his defense, yet he chose to kneel and wash his disciples' feet. He had authority to rule the world, yet he chose the cross to serve humanity. This is the greatest example. Blessing and power are granted not to elevate oneself, but to stoop low in service. If you walk in his steps, you too will discover that blessing finds its fullness only when it brings life to others. I warn you, when blessing becomes a reason for comparison, for pride, for despising your brothers, it turns into a burden. You will fall into temptation and be bound by the darkness of self-satisfaction. But if you see blessing as a lamp, you will place it on a stand to give light to many. Then the light will not only shine on others, but reflect upon your own face, making you ever more radiant. Remember the story of the servant who buried his talent. In fear he hid it, investing nothing, gaining nothing. In the end, his talent was taken away and given to another. Do you see? A blessing unused is a blessing lost. I desire you to be a faithful servant, using all I have entrusted to benefit my kingdom. Only then will you hear my words. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in little. I will set you over much. My child, blessing is a double-edged sword. It can draw you nearer to me or drive you away if misused. If you wield it to serve, it becomes a ladder lifting you into fuller life. But if you wield it to exalt yourself, it becomes a stone that drags you into the depths. Therefore, always keep gratitude and humility. Remember that blessing is not for boasting, but for bending down to wash the feet of your brothers. Learn from the vine and its branches. The branch draws life from the vine and thus bears much fruit. Yet the grapes are not for the branch itself, but to feed many. In the same way, when you abide in me, you will bear much fruit, but that fruit is meant to be given away, not hoarded. My joy is to see you become a branch heavy with fruit-nourishing souls who thirst for life. I call you, use blessing to serve. Share your wealth with the poor. Use your words to encourage, not to tear down. Use your position to protect the weak, not to oppress. Use your wisdom to illuminate, not to deceive. Use your health to do good, not to indulge the flesh. When you live this way, your blessing will become a blessing for multitudes. My child, you have passed through trials and been refined. Now I want you to step into a season of blessing with a humble spirit. Do not fear when new doors open, and do not be proud when abundance arrives. See everything as a tool, as a means, as seed. For blessing does not stop with you, but must go beyond you, reaching the dry lands that need watering. When you live like this, your blessing will never run dry. My child, life holds no gray areas, as you often imagine. There is no neutral ground where you can hold my hand and cling to the world at the same time. Every step you take either moves you toward life or slides you toward death. The world will whisper that you can stand between, that you can have me, and still indulge in sin, but this is not true. Light and darkness cannot mingle. The moment you choose darkness, you turn your back on the light. Each small choice today is a seed shaping your harvest tomorrow. What do you think are the important choices? You tend to believe they are decisions about career, marriage, or great turning points. But I want you to understand that truly important choices are the small ones you make each day. When you choose forgiveness over resentment, prayer over complaint, honesty over deceit, these small choices weave your soul's fabric. Like bricks laid one upon another, each small choice builds the house of your life, either a house of life or a house of death. Remember the Israelites standing before Mount Ebal and Mount Gerizim. Moses declared, "Today I set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life that you and your descendants may live." Do you see? This was not only a collective choice, but a personal invitation. Each person had the right to decide, and that decision carried consequences for generations. That word still echoes to you today. I set before you life and death, what will you choose? You often wait for big moments to prove your faith. But my child, faith is not measured by rare grand decisions, but by steadfastness in daily small ones. A tree does not grow tall from a single downpour, but from daily morning dew. Your heart does not beat strong only in moments of glory, but by each small, steady pulse day after day. So it is with life. It is shaped by quiet choices, unseen moments. Look at Daniel. Exiled, no one forced him to keep his faith. He could have eaten the king's food, worshipped false gods to protect himself. But he chose faithfulness even in what seemed a small matter, refusing defiled food. From that small choice he was granted wisdom, stood firm in the lion's den, and became a beacon in a foreign land. Do you see daily choices open into a lifetime of life? In contrast, look at Judas Iscariot. He once walked with Jesus, heard his words, witnessed his miracles. But small choices, keeping the money bag for himself, nurturing greed, allowing darkness to whisper, led to his final act of betrayal. Judas did not fall in one night. He sowed seeds of death day by day, and in the end those seeds bore bitter fruit. Remember, no choice is too small to shape your soul. My child, life is not mere existence. True life is when your soul is bound to me, when your heart beats to the rhythm of love and truth. Death is not only the stopping of breath, but the separation of the soul from me, becoming withered, though the body still moves. I desire you to live and to live abundantly. But that life does not come automatically. It comes from the choices you courageously make each day. Many choose death without realizing it, thinking their choice is harmless. A small lie, an unchecked anger, a habit of compromise with darkness. Yet small seeds sown continuously grow into a field. Do not despise small things, for they shape life or death within your soul. As a single drop of poison can taint an entire stream, one small wrong choice can unravel a chain of destruction. My child, learn to ask yourself daily, Today am I living for life or for death? When you choose forgiveness, you sow life. When you choose love, you sow life. When you choose prayer over complaint, you sow life. But when you choose selfishness, hatred, deceit, you sow death. I do not force you, but I call you choose life, for that life is not only for you, but spreads to all around you. Remember the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in Eden. Adam and Eve had but one choice to obey, or not. They chose the forbidden fruit, and death entered the world. But at the cross, Jesus reopened the way of life for you. Now every day you stand between two trees, one of life, one of death. From which will you eat? Choose the tree of life, that your soul may no longer wither, but be revived forever. My child, this choice determines not only the temporary life, but the eternal one. On the final day I will separate as a shepherd divides sheep from goats. The sheep are those who chose life daily, even in small matters. The goats are those who chose death, even by seemingly trivial steps. Do you wish to be with me forever or apart from me forever? It begins with today's choice. Do not think I compel you. No, I am a father, not a tyrant. I only invite you. I open the door of life, but you may step in or turn away. Yet I assure you, whoever chooses life, chooses me, will never regret it. For in that life you will find peace, purpose, and eternal joy. Look at Jesus himself. He chose life not for himself, but for humanity. He chose obedience instead of retreat, the cross instead of fleeting glory. That choice opened the door of salvation for you today. Do you wish to walk in his footsteps? If so, you too must choose daily. Choose between darkness and light, between life and death. My child, now I ask you not with compulsion, but with love. What will you choose today? If you choose me, I will walk with you every step, lift you when you fall, guide you when you falter. You will never be alone. But if you turn away, you will see darkness gradually envelop you, not because I abandon you, but because you step out of the light. Decide from the small things a morning prayer, an act of kindness, a moment of restraint in anger, a word of encouragement. All are seeds of life. Do not wait for a grand opportunity. Begin today. Then one day you will look back and see your life has become a field heavy with the fruit of life, not a barren land of death. Engrave this in your heart. Every day, every hour, every moment is an opportunity to choose. To live for life or for death, you cannot stand in the middle, and I call you choose life. For I am life, and whoever follows me shall never die but have eternal life. My child, when you pause and take a deep breath after the storm you've endured, you will realize that every tear that fell was not meaningless. Every trembling step you took in the valley of darkness etched a story of courage into your soul. You are not merely a survivor. You are becoming a living testimony of a journey woven by faith, patience, and my unseen guidance. All that you thought was abandonment, the silences in which you thought I was absent, were in truth the moments I held your hand tighter than ever, the moments I drew you nearer to your true, radiant self. You may not have seen it in your pain, but now you begin to glimpse the golden thread I have been carefully weaving into the story of your life. Do not let old memories limit your vision, for what I am preparing for you is not merely an escape, but an entirely new land where light overflows, where long-buried dreams rise again and blossom. You are no longer who you were yesterday. Every scar upon your flesh and soul has become a mark of growth, like cracks in dry ground, signaling the coming of rain. You have learned to stand when no one was there to lift you. You have learned to believe in what you cannot see when all around seemed to collapse. You have learned patience when time stretched out in silence. This was not punishment, but training. You are like a seed beneath the soil, seemingly buried in darkness. Yet that darkness is the womb where new life germinates. I have never forgotten you, never abandoned you in that journey. I have been beside you in every fragile breath, in every falling tear, in every silent prayer you thought unheard. In your weakest moments I cradled you in, my strength like a mother holding her child through the cold night. Now as you stand at the threshold of a new season, I want you to understand that everything past was only preparation for greater things. You have tasted loneliness, so that now you may become a comfort to other lonely souls. You have experienced loss, so that now you may cherish every small gift of life. You have known disappointment so that now you may recognize that true happiness does not come from what is fragile. You are being refined like gold in fire, like a gem under pressure. I have never allowed you to suffer merely to suffer, but to become your truest self, brighter, stronger, deeper. Every trial you have endured has built another layer of strength within you, like a great tree driving its roots deeper in the storm so it can rise taller after the rain. Do not be afraid of the doors that are about to open. Do not think that you must struggle alone as you once did. These opportunities do not come from your own strength, nor from your careful planning. They are the fruit of long seasons of sowing, the result of whispered prayers, the reward of your patience. You will know it is I, for everything will surpass your imagination. Things you once thought impossible, roads you once believed were blocked, dreams you once buried deep because they seemed too far away. When these things happen, you will not be able to explain them by human effort. You will simply recognize my mark upon your life. My child, do not close your heart in doubt or fear. Do not look back at the past with regret, for it has already fulfilled its purpose. Look forward instead with expectation and steadfast faith. You no longer have to wrestle alone. You have me, and you still have me, the one who never changes, never leaves, never grows weary of upholding you. I know this journey has not been easy. I know how many times your feet have wanted to give way. But I also know that deep within you, there is a flame, the flame I lit in your heart from the very beginning. It is a flame that cannot be extinguished, a flame that storms only make burn brighter. And now that flame will light your way into a new season where promises are fulfilled, where tears turn into joy, where waiting becomes abundance. Prepare your soul for the harvest. Do not worry that you are not enough, for I am your sufficiency. Do not fear that you are unworthy, for I have chosen you. Do not think you cannot do it, for I will do it through you. Let me lead each step you take. Let me write the next chapters of your life with my hand. When you look back, you will see that every chapter had a purpose, every scar carried meaning, every loss opened space for something new. You are no longer a seed lying still in the soil. You are rising, reaching for the light, becoming a living testimony of my unchanging love. My beloved, never forget that everything I have promised will come true. Do not judge the future by the pain of the past. Do not limit yourself by what you have gone through. Believe that what is coming will surpass what you have hoped for. I am the one who held you through the night, and I am also the one who will bring you into the radiant dawn. When you see these things unfold, you will understand why I did not let you bypass the trial, why I allowed you to walk through the darkness. You will realize that everything has shaped who you are today, stronger, fuller of faith, and able to love more deeply than ever before. And in that moment, gratitude will overflow in you, not only for the blessings you have received, but for the journey that has transformed you into something so beautiful. You are the canvas I am painting. Every stroke, light or dark, is part of a masterpiece. You are the precious stone being cut and polished. Every cut brings you closer to perfection. You are the seed pushing upward. Every rain, every storm only drives your roots deeper and makes your branches stronger. Do not fear what lies ahead, for I am already there. Do not fear being insufficient, for I am the strength within you. Keep walking with eyes wide open and a heart full of hope. And when you step into what I have prepared, you will no longer only hear me as a whisper of comfort. You will see me in everything, in the light, in the opportunities, in the open doors, in the new breath of your life. My child, this journey does not end in the valley. It is only the beginning of the heights you will stand upon. And when you stand there looking back at every hardship, you will no longer feel pain, but only my faithfulness, my love, my wise providence. You will understand that I never abandoned you, never left your side, and that everything led you to the place your heart longed for, but never dared believe it deserved. And in that moment you will sing not the cry of desperation, but the song of thanksgiving, the song of victory, the song of a soul restored, lifted high, transformed by my unfailing love. My beloved one, I want you to understand more deeply that every breath you take, every step you make, lies within the great plan I have set. You are not only a recipient of blessing, you are a channel through which it flows. Like a stream that does not keep water for itself, but lets its clear current run to the fields and the dry places thirsty for life, you too are called to be like this. Into your hands I place not only abundance but a mission, not only personal joy but a resounding call to walk through this world as light in the darkness. You are called to ignite hope, where despair reigns, to sow seeds of love in the dry soil of human hearts, to let the kindness I planted in you spread amid cruelty, to let the truth I placed in your mouth ring out where deception has taken root. You are my answer to the silent prayers of weary souls, searching for a flicker of light in the deep darkness. And when I give you abundance, you must understand it is not just a reward for you alone, but a tool for you to serve more, love more, and stand firm without fear amid the storm. When I lift you up, it is not to place you above others, but to help you see farther, to perceive the pain of others, to hear the cries of wandering hearts. I raise you up so your arms are long enough to reach those slipping into the depths, so your words are strong enough to uphold hearts that want to give up. When I provide for you, it is not only to ease your own burden, but to give you a love weighty enough to share, to lift, to shelter others. Remember this, as you remember your breath, as you remember the heartbeat within your chest, everything you have is not yours. It is mine, placed in you to be given away. I know there are times you wonder, nights when you look at the vast sky and ask yourself, am I enough? Am I worthy? Do I deserve this? I know every doubt that seeps into your heart like the cold mist of dawn. But today, in this very moment, I want you to hear my answer clearly. You are worthy. Not because you have done enough, not because you are perfect, but because I am merciful. I am the one who chooses, the one who loves without change. You were chosen not because you have no scars, but because in those very scars I will shine, so that those who see you will witness my grace. You are equipped, not because you have your own strength, but because I have poured my power into the very places where you are weakest, turning weakness into a testimony of my power, turning lack into a living witness of my boundless mercy. Do not see yourself through the lens of failure or comparison. Do not let your scars measure your worth. Do not let the words of the world or the rejection of others make you forget who you are in me. See yourself through the lens of the love I have for you. A love not bound by time, not limited by mistakes, not shaken by life's changes. That love is as eternal as the night sky, as deep as the ocean, as steadfast as the mountains. It is that love which called you, chose you, and placed in you the strength to stand, to walk, even when the road is rough, to give yourself to things greater than yourself. You are the vessel I have molded with my own hands. Not a vessel merely for display, but to hold living water love that never runs dry. A vessel that may bear cracks, but those very cracks let light and life pour out. When you open your heart for me to fill, you will see that your weakness becomes the channel for blessing to flow. And when you give, you lose nothing, for I am the source that never runs out. You are the river, I am the spring. You are the lamp, I am the fire. You are the song, I am the melody. My beloved, do not be afraid when you feel small before the great work I have placed upon you. Do not tremble when you look ahead and see a road too long, too hard, for I am with you. I am your strength. I am the one who set your feet on this path, and I am also the one who will keep you standing firm until the end. Do not measure yourself by your knowledge or your strength. Measure yourself by the power I am placing within you. Do not look at your limits. Look at my limitlessness. You do not yet know, but the tears you have shed are not in vain. Every time you fell and stood again is proof that my grace is enough for you. I have seen every moment you chose what was right, though. It was hard every time you stretched out your hand to help another, though you yourself needed help. Every small act, every true word from your heart is like a seed I am sowing into the world, and I will make them grow whether you see it or not. You will never fully know the reach of the small faithfulness you have offered me, but I know and I will never forget. You are the light in the night. Not a light of your own making, but a reflection of mine. You are called to shine not because you are greater, but because you carry my fire within you. Let that light reach the darkest corners, the places others fear to go. Let that love touch the hearts everyone else has forgotten. Let your words become warmth to frozen souls. Become the breath of hope for the weary. Trust me, my beloved, everything I do has purpose. Your abundance has purpose. Your being lifted has purpose. Your being chosen has purpose. Nothing in your life is accidental. You are not a mistake nor an extra piece. You are an essential part of the greater picture I am painting. And when you believe this, when you live in this, you will find deep peace, a gentle yet unyielding strength, and a hope that does not fade. My beloved, I know you are not perfect, but I still call you. I know you are weak, but I still choose you. I know you are afraid, but I still lift you up. For I do not see you as the world sees. I see you through my unchanging love. And when you learn to see yourself through that gaze, you will find freedom. Freedom from the fear of failure, from the pressure to prove your worth, from the burden of needing to be enough to deserve love. You were loved before you knew me. You were called before you understood it. You were equipped before you knew you had a mission. Remember this, my beloved, you do not live only to receive, you live to give. You are not only lifted up, you are lifted to lift others. You are not only healed, you are healed to heal others. And as you give, you will receive even more, not to hoard, but to keep giving. This is the secret of abundance in me, a circle of love without end, a flow of grace that never runs dry, a flame that never goes out. You are my answer to those seeking hope. You are my hands, my voice, my heart placed in this world. And you will never be alone on this journey, for I am always beside you, holding your hand, lifting you up, filling you each day. Walk, my beloved, not with pride, but with humility and courage. Walk as light in the darkness, as seed in dry soil, as song in the silence. For you are called, you are chosen, you are equipped, not to be above, but to love more deeply. My beloved, listen to what I am about to say, for this is not only a message of comfort, but a preparation for a journey beyond your imagination. I know that deep within you there rise questions, doubts about the meaning of the roads you have walked. You may have wondered why the paths you chose led to unexpected turns, why there were days when it seemed the light had vanished and only darkness remained. But my child, none of this lies outside my plan. Not a single tear you have shed has escaped my notice. Not a single sigh of yours has gone unheard. Every wound, every twist, every stumble has been recorded and held as part of a larger canvas you cannot yet see. If you could see as I see, you would fear and doubt no more, for every small detail of your life is being woven into an unfinished masterpiece. You thought yourself ordinary, but I have seen in you an extraordinary, yet unfolded. Like a seed hidden in the soil awaiting its time, your potential has been nurtured in silence. Do not let the limits you place on yourself obscure this truth. When I look at you, I do not only see the present, I see the radiant future prepared for you, every ability, every opportunity, every good thing I have already set in place. Do not be surprised if you sense movement in your soul, for this is the sign that I am opening new doors. And when those doors open, you will behold the vastness of my grace. You will see a tapestry where every dark thread of your past has been woven into a magnificent design, and you will exclaim, "Now I understand, now I see why." But my beloved child, before you step fully into this new season, I need you to prepare your heart. Treat your heart as a precious garden to be tended and guarded from harmful things. As you stand before open doors, fear will try to creep in like a cloud covering the light. It will whisper in your ear that you are not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy to go on. But do not believe that voice, for I have chosen you, I have placed in you the power to surpass every limit. You do not need to prove your worth to the world, for I have already affirmed it in your very being. Guard your heart also from pride, for pride easily sprouts when blessings come. When you are lifted up, when you succeed, when dreams once distant become reality, pride will whisper that it was your own doing, that you no longer need me. But my child, pride is the trap that draws you away from the waters of life, leaving you dry. Remember that every good thing you have is a gift. Every opportunity you receive is grace, and that very awareness keeps you in the place of humility, where blessings can continue to flow through you without obstruction. I also need you to guard your heart against discouragement, for the path ahead will not always be paved with roses. Challenges will still come, not to destroy you, but to refine you and make you stronger. Just as gold must pass through fire to be purified, just as steel must endure, forging to be resilient, so too must your soul undergo trials in order to mature. Do not look at trials as enemies. See them instead as the instruments I use to reveal the marvelous essence you carry within. When you perceive every hardship through my lens, you will see they are no longer fearful, but become stepping stones that lift you higher. And finally, my beloved, keep your heart from comparisons. In this world, comparison is a cold wind that extinguishes joy within you. You will see others go ahead, succeed sooner, bloom earlier, and you may ask, why not me? Yet you do not know that I have appointed a time that is uniquely yours, a path only you can walk, a journey written solely for you. If you keep turning to other paths, you will lose sight of the footprints I have made for you. Trust that you are neither late nor left behind, but moving in the very rhythm of my guidance. When you walk close to me, your heart will be as steady as a tree planted by streams, its roots unshaken by storms. You are not an accident. You are an irreplaceable part of the great story I am writing, where every detail holds meaning. Every tear you shed is a seed of wisdom. Every time you rise again in perseverance is a stone laid into the foundation of your calling. The day will come when you look back and see a complete tapestry, not one you wove yourself, but a masterpiece I have patiently threaded from the fibers of your life. Do not fear as you step into a new season. Do not doubt your worth when great opportunities knock. Do not let pride steal the sweetness of blessing. Do not let despair cause you to give up halfway, and do not let comparison rob the joy that is blossoming within you. Walk forward with a steadfast heart, tender yet unwavering, humble, yet strong, overflowing with trust in me. For when you guard your heart, you are not only opening a new door, but an entirely new life, where dreams are no longer distant illusions, but radiant realities, where you will not only find yourself, but also uncover the deeper meaning in everything that has ever happened. And as you step forward in that light, you will realize that all I have spoken to you is not empty promise, but reality unfolding day by day. You will see grace like rain falling on thirsty fields, causing life to spring forth where once there seemed only death, reviving dreams you thought long buried. You will see that your strength does not come from your own effort, but from your union with me, like a branch abiding in the vine. You will no longer fear challenges, no longer compare yourself with others, no longer grow proud when blessings come, and no longer lose heart when the road grows hard, for your heart will have learned to beat in rhythm with mine. My beloved, all I long for you to understand is this: I am leading you to a place better than you ever imagined. And this journey is not compulsion, but invitation, an invitation to walk in freedom, in grace, in the extraordinary future already prepared. When you entrust me with your heart, I will give you peace, unshakable joy that cannot be stolen, and a purpose that will illuminate every day of your life. Listen now, my beloved. As you walk the journey I have set before you, do not think you are carrying the weight alone. Every breath you draw, every beat of your heart bears my presence upholding you. I am not only the one who shows the way, not only the voice calling from afar, urging you onward, but I am also the stream flowing beneath your feet, the gentle shade surrounding you, the steady light glowing in the night to guide you. Imagine this: even if you journey to the edge of the horizon or fall into the deepest abyss there, my hand will be waiting to catch you, never letting go. I am the one who goes before you, opening paths your eyes have not yet seen, clearing obstacles you have not yet faced. I am the one walking beside you, strengthening your trembling steps, carrying you when you grow weary. And when you look behind, you will see my hands shielding and protecting you from things you never knew, but I did. My love is not only before you, not only beside you, not only behind you, it is an invisible embrace surrounding you, leaving no place untouched by my presence. Do not fear what lies ahead, my child. For everything awaiting you I have already walked through. I have placed my footsteps there, lit fires in the night to warm you when you arrive, and set markers to show you the right direction. Your eyes may not yet see, but mine have seen it all. Your ears may hear only chaos, but I have already composed for you a melody of peace. Your heart may tremble with anxiety, but I have kept peace ready in my hands, waiting for you to receive. Voices will rise around you, voices of doubt, envy, criticism, and prejudice. They will try to make you falter, to tell you that you cannot fulfill what I have called you to, that you are unworthy of what I give, that you are too small in this vast world. My child, do not let those voices pierce your soul like a cold blade, for My voice is the true sound, the enduring song guiding you through every chaos. You may hear many counsels, many judgments, but it is my approval that matters. My word alone that opens the door of peace for you. Let my word be the anchor cast into the depths of your soul, holding you steady amid the storm. When tempests rise, you will not be swept away, for that anchor is me. When the sky of life grows dark, my word will be your light, your warmth, your shoulder to lean on. My child, I want you to know what you so often forget. I delight in you not because of what you do, not because of your striving to please me, but because of who you are. You are the image I love, the breath I placed in this world, the cherished piece of the grand design of the universe. Each time you smile, my heart rejoices. Each time you weep, I stoop to wipe your tears. You need not strain to earn my favor, for it already rests on you like morning dew on the fields, like the day's first light that no one pays to receive. Remember, my grace is not grounded in your achievements or perfection, but in my love for you, unchanging, unconditional, inexhaustible. You often think you must strive to be worthy to do enough to secure a place in my heart. But the truth is, you already had that place long before you knew me. You belong to me, and because you belong to me, my love has always been your home. I call you beloved, and in you I find joy. Whether you are weak or strong, successful or failing, advancing or stumbling, I still look upon you with eyes of love, still hold your hand, still whisper to your heart, I am here. Do not let the past chain you, nor the fear of the future paralyze you. Lift your eyes to me, the one who opened the way, the one who walks with you, the one who wrote your story in ink of love. You are not a lost grain of sand in the universe. You are a precious jewel in my hand. And when I look at you, I do not see your flaws or frailties as the world does. I see the potential I placed within you, the light that will shine when you stand in my love. Believe it, live it, let it become your breath and the lifeblood of your heart. When you feel misunderstood, criticized, or rejected, remember I have walked that road before. I know that pain more deeply than anyone. I endured false accusations, loneliness, and wounds inflicted by those I loved. That is why I can embrace you, heal you, and lift you when you fall. You are never alone on this journey. Each step you take, my footprints merge with yours. Each sigh you breathe, it resonates with mine. Each tear you shed I keep as jewels in a precious vessel. My beloved, life may change, people may change, but my love never does. When you fail, I do not turn away. When you are weak, I do not abandon you. When you lose your way, I do not release my hold. On the contrary, it is in those very moments that I draw closest to lift you up, to remind you to whom you belong to. Whisper into your ear that you are still precious, still loved, still mine. Let my voice become the loudest sound in your soul, so that whenever the storms of this world rage, you will still hear clearly my call. Do not fear, I am here. I want you to walk not in anxiety but in peace. That peace does not come from yourself, nor from the world, but from me. It is the peace I leave with you, a peace surpassing all understanding. Do not let lies from without steal the peace within. Do not let fear in the dark make you forget the light I kindle. You are free in my love, strong in my presence, steadfast in my promise. I have chosen you, placed you in this story, entrusted you with a purpose, and I will fulfill it with you. So walk with an open heart, with eyes lifted to me, with ears attuned to my voice. Let the truth of my love be the root of every decision, every step, every word you speak. Let the joy I take in you become the strength you use to love others. Then you will find yourself no longer bound by judgment or doubt, but lifted by a love that never diminishes. You are, my beloved, you belong to me. You are never abandoned, and in you I delight. No matter how fierce the storms outside, no matter how deep the wounds in your soul, believe that my love has never wavered, not for a single moment. Every tear you shed I understand, every sigh and solitude I hear, every torment in your heart I know and embrace. My love is not one that shifts with time or depends on your perfection. It is not measured by merit, not limited by failure, not weakened by doubt. My love is like a river that never ceases to flow, like a sky without borders, covering both light and darkness, holding you steady in the depths of despair. Let this truth sink deep into your being. No power, no failure, no sin or weakness can separate you from me. For I have called you by name, engraved you on the palms of my hands, and written the story of your life before it began. You are not random, not a nameless speck in the vast universe. You are my handiwork, my breath given the living testimony of eternal love from the Creator. Listen carefully to every word I speak, for what I reveal today is not for you alone, but for all who have ears to hear and hearts to receive. I do not speak to bind or to burden, but to set free and to guide. I long for my children not only to call me by name, but to truly walk in my will, to live in my wisdom, to breathe the atmosphere of the life I give. For only in my will can one discover their true essence, attain that which they were created to be. I did not make you to wander aimlessly, nor to chase fleeting shadows. I placed within you a void. Only I can fill a call, only I can answer a thirst, only I can quench. When you seek joy elsewhere, you will find it is but foam that quickly fades. But when you return to me, that joy becomes an unfailing spring. Do you know my will is not a burden? It is not chains to bind, but the path of life to guide. My will is like a garden carefully designed, where every path, every stream, every flower bed has its place. As you walk in it, you are not only obeying, but harmonizing with a greater symphony where everything moves in the rhythm of life itself. My will is the blueprint for your joy, the fountain of peace you seek, the road to fulfillment the world cannot give. When you surrender to my will, you do not lose freedom. Rather, you discover a purer freedom than you have ever known, the freedom not to follow fleshly desires, but to live in the truth that has set you free. In the world, freedom is often seen as the absence of restraint, but that is only an illusion. In me, freedom is deliverance from the chains of sin, from the weight of expectation, from the endless grip of fear. When you yield to my will, you uncover a happiness that does not fade with time, does not vanish when storms come, does not waver with circumstances. That happiness flows from my eternal presence, from knowing you belong to me and are loved unconditionally. No event can shatter that happiness, for it is not based on what you do, but on who I am, the one who never changes. When you yield to my will, you discover a love that cannot be broken. For I myself am love, and where I am there is wholeness. I dwell with those who walk with me, and my presence becomes their fortress, their refuge in every season. Remember, you are not walking alone. I have not called you to a solitary journey. I have called you to myself, to communion, to love. The path I open before you is not a cold one, but a road illuminated by the light of hope, paved with the footprints I have walked before you. I have not asked you to find the way. I am the way. I have not asked you to search for the truth on your own. I am the truth. I have not asked you to create life for yourself. I am the life. When you understand this, every burden will become lighter, every fear will dissolve, and every shadow will retreat. I know your weakness, I know your fears, I know your doubts, but I am not ashamed of these things. On the contrary, it is in weakness that my strength is made perfect. It is in fear that my peace becomes most vivid. It is in doubt that my love is revealed most deeply. You do not need to perfect yourself before coming to me, for I have loved you even in your brokenness. I do not demand that you be worthy to be loved. I love you so that you may become worthy. I do not require you to stand firm so that I may uphold you. I uphold you so that you may stand firm. You need not hide your wounds, for I am the one who heals. You need not fear the darkness, for I am the light that guides your path. My child, let your heart soften before me. Let every word I speak flow into the depths of your soul like fresh water into dry ground. Do not resist me. Do not think my will is a burden. Try just once to lay down every care and let me lead you. You will find true life, true joy, and true peace. You will no longer chase after the fragile but grasp the eternal. You will realize that I am not far away. I am beside you. I walk with you through every season, every year, every trial. You will see that each breath you draw is the breath I have given. Each heartbeat within you is the rhythm I have placed in your chest. Do not forget you were created with purpose. You are not an accident, not the product of blind fate. You were written in my thoughts, shaped by my hands, given life by my breath. You were made to find fulfillment, not in material things, not in fame, not in power, but only in me. So when you come to me, you lose nothing. Rather, you find yourself, you find the true essence of your soul. And above all, you will come to know that I never abandon you, even if you turn away. I never cease loving, even if you cease seeking me. I never fall silent, even when you do not wish to hear. My love breaks through every barrier, spans every distance, forgives every fault. It is like a fire that never dies, a light that never fades, a spring that never runs dry. It waits with patience, calls with gentleness, and lifts with tenderness. Open your heart and receive it. Do not see me as a rigid judge, but as a loving father, a faithful friend, a wise guide. I do not come to condemn you. I come to save you. I do not come to lay heavier burdens on your back. I come to lift them off. I do not come to steal your joy. I come to give you joy in fullness. I do not come to bind you. I come to set you free. Believe this, and let it sink into the very fabric of your soul. Then, as you walk in my will, you will no longer see it as reluctant obedience, but as natural harmony, like fish swimming in water, like birds soaring in the sky. You will no longer see it as sacrifice, but as true living. You will no longer see it as loss, but as gain. You will discover that my will is not a cold law, but a symphony of life woven out of love. And you, yes, you are the melody I have written into that symphony. Believe, my child, that nothing can separate you from me. No valley is too deep, no mountain too high, no night too dark. Wherever you are, there I am. Wherever your tears fall, there my hand wipes them away. Wherever you stumble, there I lift you up. My love does not grow weary, does not run out, does not change. It has been with you, it is with you, and it will be with you forever. My beloved, I know there are moments when questions rise in your heart, why I keep calling you to walk my path, why I do not simply let you go your own way. But every word I speak, every path I show, every step I guide you through, does not arise from compulsion or control, but from a heart overflowing with love, a heart that sees farther than your eyes can see. I see the hidden pits laid by the enemy, the fine but unbreakable nets waiting to ensnare your soul. I see the glittering false lights that shine like pure gold but are only ashes, the fleeting promises of the world like gentle breezes that turn into heavy chains. I do not want you to drink bitter water thinking it is sweet, to be lured by false joys into a deep abyss. My will is not a prison but a shield, not a rope to bind but open arms to shelter and hold you against the raging storms. When I tell you, do not touch the unclean, I am not taking away your freedom or making your life dull. On the contrary, I desire to protect your soul so that it remains pure and clear as the morning dew, so that you may taste a joy that is untainted, unclouded, undiluted. Momentary pleasures may intoxicate you, but when the intoxication fades, only emptiness and pain remain. I want you to experience true happiness, a happiness that does not fade with time or vanish with circumstances, a happiness that only true love and freedom in me can bring. When I teach you to love your neighbor as yourself, I am not giving you another burden to carry. I know that this very love is the key that opens another realm for you, a heaven on earth. Love frees you from isolation, helps you see others with kindness instead of suspicion, and gives you peace within your own soul instead of waves of envy and hatred. For where love is, there I am, and where I am, peace and joy pour down like gentle rain upon dry land. My beloved, this is not an invitation to lose yourself, but to discover the beautiful self I placed within you from the beginning. Every word I speak is not a meaningless breeze. Every command I give is not a chain to enslave. Each word, each phrase, each command flows from my loving heart, from a love beyond human understanding. I long for you to live fully, not merely to survive in fear, not merely to exist day by day, but to live in true freedom, the freedom of the soul, the freedom of the heart, the freedom to love and be happy. I do not want you to die in the darkness of wrong choices, nor lose yourself in the whirlpool of the world. My child, open the ears of your heart to hear me. Do not only listen with your physical ears, but with the stillness of your soul. Believe that every word I speak carries life, like cool water flowing into parched land, like the light of dawn breaking the night. My words come to awaken new life within you, to lead you out of narrow paths into wide fields of freedom. You are not a lone traveler. I walk with you. I know each step you take, each breath you draw, each tear you shed. There is no pain of yours I do not see, no sigh of yours I do not hear, and because I know all these things, I invite you to walk the path I set before you. It may not be paved with gold, it may not glitter like the roads the world displays, but it leads to life. It may be narrow, it may be steep, it may be hard to tread, but in the end it opens into horizons beyond anything you can imagine. It may require you to leave behind certain things, burdens, habits, illusions, but it will give you what is most precious, a free soul, a heart full of love, and a life overflowing with abundance. Believe, my child, that I never call you to anything but love. I never lead you anywhere but into peace. What I teach is not to make you a stranger to yourself, but to bring you back to the self I created, beautiful and whole, not twisted by lies, not crushed by fear. Look at what the world promises: freedom that ends in slavery, glitter that ends in emptiness. What I promise you may seem quiet, may seem humble, but it is true. It does not fade. It does not vanish when you need it most. My beloved, remember that I am not only the one who gives commands. I am Father, I am Mother, I am Friend, I am the one who lifts your soul. I do not speak these words to frighten you, but to let you see my care and love. Everything I shield you from is because I want to keep you in the embrace of peace, so that you may bloom like a green field in spring. You do not have to live in doubt or struggle alone. Give your worries to me. Let me carry your heavy loads. Let me be your support when you are weak. Let me teach you how to love when your heart runs dry. My child, listen to me. Do not let my words pass through your ears without touching your heart. Do not treat what I say as a list of cold laws, but as a love letter, a whisper from my heart to yours. For what I desire most is not for you to become perfect by standards, but for you to live, to rejoice, to love, to be truly happy in real freedom. Walk with me, do not fear, do not hesitate, for before you called me, I was there. Before you sought me, I sought you. Before you loved me, I loved you with a love that does not fade. Though Satan may cloak itself in garments of light, painting a beguiling picture with promises of freedom, power, and pleasure, its nature never changes. It does not seek your good. It has no intention of building life, love, or peace in the soul. On the contrary, all its ways lead to depletion, ruin, and destruction. It plants sweet seeds of lust, greed, hatred, and revenge in the heart, then nurtures them under clever disguises, so that when they grow, they bind the soul with invisible chains. People may think they are holding happiness in their hands, but in truth, they are embracing only a fragile illusion that vanishes like smoke in the harsh light of truth. In such deception, Satan finds its power to make people lose themselves while believing they are free. Look closely at each gift it offers. The hatred it whispers may seem like a cure for anger, but is in truth a smoldering fire that burns the heart, turning it to cold stone, stripping away the capacity to love or forgive. The greed it sows may look like power and security, but is only a bottomless pit where every fulfilled desire leaves deeper emptiness, until the greedy one becomes a slave to wealth and fame, things that cannot follow them. Beyond this, life. The lust it pours into the heart may seem to enliven, but in fact erodes dignity, making one a wanderer in a desert of thirst, never drinking their fill. The revenge it glorifies as a sign of strength is only a chain binding the soul to bitterness, carrying pain and resentment to the very end, never finding peace. Each promise, each seduction of Satan is like a beautiful package filled with ashes and thorns. People who enter that vortex often do not realize they are heading for the abyss. They see the light of pleasure, success, and power, but do not see that it is the false glow of a torch leading them downward. They may feel triumph for a moment, but afterwards come long nights of emptiness, moments when their souls whisper unanswerable questions. Is this truly what I want? Is this truly freedom, truly happiness? The deeper they go, the more they lose their true selves, the more they lose the ability to see what is good, true, and beautiful, until at last they turn back and find only ashes and fear. Satan does not need to force people. It only needs to whisper sweetly, planting illusions and the sense of control, and then they willingly step into its trap. Its greatest danger is not its ferocity, but its subtlety. It does not come as an open enemy, but as a friend, a counselor, whispering sweet words, promising to lead to happiness. It does not push people into darkness, but leads them step by step along a golden paved road until they find themselves already in darkness. It turns chains into garlands, poison into honey, slavery into freedom. This very subtlety makes people welcome it, open their doors to it. And once inside, it does not need to coerce. It only waits for its seeds to sprout and bear bitter fruit. Perhaps there is no greater pain than for a person to lose their soul without realizing it. The price of chasing false promises is not only outward loss, but inward ruin. The distortion of character, the cooling of the heart, the drying up of compassion. One may become wealthy, powerful, and famous, but deep inside become poorer than ever. They lose the ability to trust, to love, to see the good in others. And in that state, Satan achieves its goal, a soul no longer belonging to the light, a heart that has accepted darkness as its home. Yet even in that darkness, there remains a spark of hope for those who recognize the lie and turn back. Every soul may choose. No matter how far it has gone, it can still return. And that turning back, that realization that every sweet promise was only an illusion, is the blow that shatters Satan's power. For it can only lead those who willingly follow. It cannot compel the will of those who truly long for the light. Therefore, each person must stay awake, must equip themselves with discernment, must learn to look through the glittering surface and see the hidden truth within. There is no path to life that is paved with lies. There is no freedom built upon chains. There is no happiness nourished by hatred. Those things that appear sweet when they arise from darkness will in the end leave only bitterness in the soul. This is an unchanging law, a nature that cannot be altered. That is why this warning is not merely a caution against danger, but also an invitation for each person to look within what we are chasing, what we are believing, what we are calling freedom. Does it truly liberate our souls, or is it only another chain? Every choice, every action, every decision of a person is a stone laid on the road that leads them either toward light or toward darkness. Satan may disguise himself, turning darkness into light, bitterness into sweetness, but he cannot change the final consequence. Only light leads to life, only truth sets free, only love brings true freedom. When a person understands this, they can stand firm before every temptation and truly see that every gift from the darkness must be paid for with the soul. And nothing is more precious than the soul of a human being, for it is the one thing that remains when all else fades away. Awakening is not fear, but awareness, the clear recognition that behind the glittering facade lies an abyss, so that one may willingly choose the path that leads to life, to peace, to true freedom. It is not an easy road, but it is the only road where one does not lose oneself. It is also the road the darkness cannot touch, for darkness cannot exist where there is light. And when a soul has chosen the light, no power can drag it back, for it has tasted truth and knows where life is and where death lies. My beloved child, I speak these words not to threaten you or make you afraid, but to open your eyes to the truth forgotten by generations, the truth your heart longs to find. You were not born to wander in deception or bury your life in the fleeting intoxication of sin. I did not shape you with my own powerful hands only for you to be enslaved by the invisible chains binding humanity. I created you, every cell, every breath, to become a light reflecting my glory, to live with deep purpose, to discover true freedom in truth. You were made to rise, to live a life not bound by darkness or dimmed by passing illusions. I placed within you an immortal soul, a flame no wind can extinguish, so you would know there is a joy greater than every passing pleasure, a life far greater than anything this world can offer. My child, do not mistake what is temporary for what is eternal. This world may glitter, it may dazzle you with false lights, it may pull you into whirlpools of fame, power, and pleasure. It may convince you that you are winning, standing above others. But the truth is that every step you take in that darkness brings you closer to destruction. My will is life, a life abundant, whole, not mere existence. The will of the enemy of your soul is death, not only physical death, but the withering of your spirit, the loss of your heart's direction. Between these two paths there is no third way, there is no gray zone. You cannot hold the light and cling to the darkness at the same time. You must choose. And I call you to choose life, to choose blessing, to choose truth, for there you will find yourself and there you will find me. You often look around and see the wicked holding their heads high, prospering, enjoying things you think you may never have. You ask yourself, why do they have what I do not? But I tell you, do not let your eyes deceive you. You are only seeing the surface. You are only seeing the short harvest they are reaping. You do not see their end, do not see the ground collapsing beneath them when their sandcastles are swept away by the waves. You do not see their empty hearts at night, their souls thirsting with nothing to quench them. The prosperity of the wicked is fleeting, their pleasures, short-lived, their gains an illusion. They may taste victory for a moment, but it vanishes like smoke in the wind. In contrast, those who choose to walk in truth may endure hardship for a time. They may be scorned, forgotten, even trampled upon. They may live simply without applause. But my child, look deeper within them. There is peace on their path. There is light in their future. There is a glory the world cannot measure. This is no counterfeit peace, but a peace that surpasses understanding. This is no small reward, but an eternal one. When the harvest comes, they will shine like the sun in my everlasting kingdom, and every sorrow they have borne will turn to radiant glory. Do not envy the wicked, for you would only be envying their emptiness. Do not mourn what you lack, for what I have prepared for you surpasses all you can imagine. Walk in my will. It is not the easy path, but it is the road that leads to true life, true joy and glory that never fades. When you choose me, you choose freedom from chains, light instead of darkness, a future no power can take from you. My beloved child, I know this choice sometimes feels lonely for you, cannot walk with those who choose darkness. I know it requires you to leave behind what is familiar to stand against the current, but I also know you are stronger than you think. I know there is within you a call toward life, toward truth, toward eternity. That call is me. I planted it in you before you could speak. I placed in your heart the longing for what does not fade, so that when the world tries to lure you, you would recognize it as an illusion, and when you lose your way, you would still hear the call to return. Remember this: every path outside of me leads to destruction. Do not let darkness paint death in beautiful colors. Do not let the enemy deceive you into believing chains are freedom, sin is joy, rebellion is strength. All of it is illusion. It leads to loss, to loneliness, to the draining of the soul. But when you walk with me, though you pass through the valley of shadows, you will still see the light at the end. Though you endure a season of hardship, you will still find the abundant harvest waiting ahead. My child, I love you. I do not call you out of darkness into light because I want to control you. I call you because I want you to truly live. I want you to be free, to be joyful, to be strong. I want you to become a son or daughter of glory, not a slave to sin, not a wanderer in the night. You were created for eternal joy, not fleeting pleasures. You were created to walk in the light, not stumble in the dark. You were created for a life full of meaning, full of peace, full of hope. And I am holding out my arms for you like a father waiting for his lost child to come home. I call you to choose life, to choose blessing, to choose truth. Do not delay. Do not be afraid. You are not alone. I will walk with you. I will teach you to stand firm when storms come. I will teach you to see through illusion, to behold truth. I will teach you how to love, how to forgive, how to rejoice in hardship, and I will lead you into a future no one can take from you. This is my promise, a promise I will never forget. My beloved, I want you to know that my will has never been a distant mystery, nor a heavy veil you must grope through darkness to find. My will is a clear spring already flowing before your eyes, bright as the morning light over the fields. I have not hidden it to make you anxious. I have revealed it so you may walk securely. You need not wait for a thunderclap or a strange sign from heaven, for I have spoken to you in gentleness, in daily life, in breath, in every small thing you do. My will is not foreign, but something you have already heard, known, and felt in your own heart, to love me with all your soul, all your heart, all your strength, to love your neighbor as yourself. These are not mere words, but the breath of life, the path to true freedom, the map I have drawn for you. I call you to walk in humility, not because I want you to bow like the weak, but because humility is heaven's strength in human form. When you act righteously, not to boast, but to let your heart become a lamp shining in surrounding darkness, you echo my light. When you show mercy, you let my heart resound on the earth, so the weary, the suffering, the wounded may feel my gentleness through your hands and words. When you keep your faith, you are building a fortress no storm of the world can destroy. When you live in truth, you let the light shatter lies, becoming a living witness of integrity. When you resist evil, you stand on my side, on the side of light, on the side of life. When you cling to what is good, you show the world there are still souls unbowed by darkness. You are not alone in this journey. My spirit within you never falls silent. He whispers to your heart like the wind through the leaves, guiding you step by step, choice by choice. He is the quiet yet persistent voice, the warmth that shows you the way, the peace that comes when you face hard crossroads. My word is the lamp before your feet, lighting every step, so you do not walk in darkness without direction. You are not abandoned, not cast into life without a map. Every page of my word, every sound of my spirit is light, so you may know your path, face challenges, and learn to love and forgive even when you are wounded. My beloved child, you think, my will is something vast and unreachable, but in truth it lies within the small choices you make each day. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of holding on to bitterness, you step into the heart of my will. Every time you show kindness instead of withdrawing into coldness, you touch my heart. Every time you pray in faith without seeing, you link earth with heaven, bringing my presence into reality. Every time you turn away from sin, you write a new page in your life, a page of freedom and strength I give you. Every time you lift your voice in praise, even in tears, you make darkness tremble and heaven echo with joy. Do you see it? These small choices, seemingly insignificant, are building an entire life that reflects heaven on earth. No great miracle is needed, no dramatic sign, but through humble hearts, steady hands, quiet acts, you are creating a portrait of life I have engraved within you. Every word of forgiveness you speak is a ray of light shining into darkness. Every act of kindness you give is a seed sprouting in dry ground. Every prayer you offer is a cord tying your heart to mine. Every step you take away from evil is a sign that darkness has not overcome the light. Every song of praise you raise is a triumph, shattering heaviness, opening the door of hope for yourself and for those listening. My beloved, do not think I am asking you for something extravagant or beyond your strength. I am not calling you to perform extraordinary feats to prove your worth. I am simply inviting you to walk in love, in truth, in humility, in righteousness. I am inviting you to live with a heart soft yet steadfast, hands gentle yet strong, eyes compassionate yet discerning. I am inviting you to become a quiet but unshakable witness, so that through these small daily choices your entire life will become a song offered to me, a song of obedience, of faithfulness, of unfading love. And as you live this way, you will discover something wondrous. My will no longer be something you strain to reach, but your truest self, as you allow me to fill you completely. You will feel peace spread through every corner of your life. You will feel a gentle strength holding you even when the world trembles. You will see my light reflected in the eyes of others through every small thing you do. You will see heaven not as something distant, but unfolding already in the ordinary days of your life. My beloved child, remember this. My will is not a secret to be deciphered, but a path already laid out for you to walk. You are not walking alone. I am with you. My spirit within you whispers my word before you, lights the way my love covers you like a cloak. And every small decision, every quiet action, every word you speak from your heart is weaving with me a beautiful tapestry, the tapestry of heaven stretched upon the earth through your life. My beloved, let me continue to open your heart to joy, a joy deeper than every passing feeling, a joy unshaken by the winds of the world. I speak of joy not as people define it, for true joy is not in the coins one gathers, nor in the approval of crowds, nor in fleeting titles that fade away. The true joy I give you is a crystal spring flowing from my own heart, where you may return, where you may rest and be reborn. When you know me, you will no longer wear masks to be loved, no longer seek approval from passing eyes or temporary praise. You will realize that true joy cannot be bought, cannot be faked, cannot be borrowed. It can only be given as you walk close beside me, as you learn to breathe in rhythm with me, as your heart becomes one with mine. You may have thought that joy lies in reaching some great height, in achieving a certain goal, or in receiving the respect of others. But my child, such things are like waves today. They rise high, tomorrow they fade away. The true joy I give you is like the ocean, never running dry, never ceasing to reach the shore of your soul. It is a joy that can sing through tears, a joy that shines even in darkness, a joy that does not depend on circumstances but blooms from within you. When you walk in step with me, when you follow my will, you not only find a purpose for your life, but also discover a spiritual strength and a peace that surpasses all human understanding. This peace is not the absence of storms, but my presence within them. You will find yourself able to stand firm in hard days, to smile even when your heart feels heavy, to keep walking, even when everything around you collapses, because your joy does not rest on the earth but on heaven. This is what the enemy cannot give you, and what he cannot steal once you have received it. Satan can offer illusions of pleasure, fleeting fascinations, but he cannot give you lasting peace, true freedom, or deep hope. The world may build shimmering glories like gold, but when you touch them, you will find they are only dust. Only I, your Creator, your Father, can give you what does not fade. Remember this, my child, you were created to live in communion with me. This is not a distant or cold relationship, but the intimate bond of a father with his child, where you are not only loved and known, but also understood and guided at every step. My will for you is not a burden, not a loveless and rigid law, but the path that leads you to me. When I call you to obedience, I am not pulling you away from happiness, but leading you into true joy. When I teach you to let go of what is not meant for you, it is not because I wish to take away, but because I desire something better for you, something no one can steal. Believe that I never withhold what is good from you. On the contrary, I am preparing things beyond your imagination, but only when you place your hand in mine can you enter them fully. The enemy always tries to distort my image. He will tell you I am strict to bind you, that my ways are difficult to make you weary. He will whisper God is holding something back from you, or his ways are old and unnecessary. But my child, these are lies. Remember that the enemy's nature is falsehood. He cannot tell the truth. I am the truth. I am life itself, and the truth I speak will set you free. My will is not heavy, it is light, as the wind lifting a kite. My ways are not outdated. They are eternal, like a river that never runs dry. My commands are not chains, they are keys, opening the door to freedom. When you walk in my will, you are no longer bound in darkness, no longer wandering a maze, but walking in the truth, and that truth will set you free, making you become the very person I created you to be. Outside my will, you lose yourself. You chase after things that seem sweet but leave bitterness behind. You look for love where it does not exist, for worth in what is not eternal, for peace in stormy harbors. But within my will, you will discover who you truly are. You were created in my image, carrying my beauty, my strength, my creativity. And only as you reflect that image through obedience, through love, through truth, will you feel whole and live according to the purpose for which you were placed. Those who pursue desires apart from me ultimately feel empty because they are running from themselves as well as from me. Outwardly, it may look like freedom, but inwardly, it is chains. Outwardly, it may seem like happiness, but inside, it is dryness. I do not want that for you. I want you to know true freedom, true peace, true fulfillment, things the world cannot give and the enemy cannot steal. When you draw near to me, when you walk in my will, you will feel your heart grow light. Peace will flood you like a river. Joy will blossom in you like a garden under the morning sunday. My child, choose the joy I give, walk in the truth I offer. Let that truth set you free from fear, from lies, from the invisible chains trying to hold you down. You were not created to live in darkness. You were created to shine. You were not born to live in fear. You were born to walk in perfect love. You were not destined to wander. You were destined to belong. When you understand this, everything changes. You will stop seeking joy in what is fleeting and begin receiving the eternal joy I have always longed for you to have. This is the secret of a free life, my child. This is what I prepared for you from the beginning. Believe my words, let me lead you, and let my true joy fill your heart until it overflows and touches everyone around you. When you live this way, you will not only find joy for yourself, but become a source of joy to the world, a light to those who are lost, a living witness of my love and my truth. My beloved, open your soul and imagine, feel deeply what I am speaking to you. Imagine a world where people no longer look to me, where everything bends to the will of Satan. What would that darkness be like? There would be no peace, no love, only greed, like a fire that never dies, only hatred like a poisonous mist in every breath. Violence would become the common language, betrayal would be natural, and despair would cover everything like a night with no dawn. It would be a world withered and soulless, with no truth to lean on, no hope to carry on. This is not a far-off vision. You need only look around in this life to see glimpses of that darkness where humanity rejects my will. It appears in eyes where love is gone, in hands that have forgotten how to embrace in the sighs of wandering souls, and in societies swept into the whirlpool of ambition, lies, and injustice. All of these are but small parts of the flood of darkness the enemy seeks to unleash upon the world to swallow life and crush hope. That is why I call my children, each soul who has heard my voice, to rise up to shine like lamps in the night, to become salt, holding back the decay spreading everywhere. I call you to walk in my ways, not only so you may be saved, but so you may become hope in the world's despair. You will be a living testimony, a drop of sweet water in a barren desert, a small light but one that can guide the lost. You will be my outstretched hand, my voice sounding in a world drowning in chaos. You cannot imagine the difference between light and darkness until you step fully out of the dark and let the light envelop you. The contrast is clear. My will leads to life, peace, and freedom. Satan's will leads to death, chaos, and slavery. My beloved, I set before you a choice, and that choice is not only once, but every day, every hour, every moment of your life. I do not force you, because love cannot be forced. Freedom is my gift to every soul. I call, I guide, I speak, I show the way, but each must choose for themselves. You may choose to walk in my will, or give yourself to the enemy. You may embrace truth, or believe lies. You may live for love, or surrender to hatred. You may choose blessing, or settle for the curse. I have placed before you two roads, one wide. Many walk on it, but it leads to destruction. One narrow, few find it, but it leads to eternal life. Do not fear the narrow road, for I have gone before you, prepared the way, shed my blood and tears to make it the road of redemption. Those who choose me will never regret it. Though the road may be narrow, rough, full of challenges, it leads to life, to a peace the world cannot give. You will find yourself free from invisible chains you once did not even notice. You will find in your heart a new stream flowing with love, hope, and strength that I, myself, pour out. This is not an illusion. It is the truth witnessed and experienced by countless souls. You will see that every surrender, every sacrifice you once thought a loss, is in fact the path to receive fullness beyond compare. My heart aches for those who reject my will. I do not grieve because my name is denied, but because I know what they are choosing: emptiness instead of fullness, ashes instead of beauty, chains instead of freedom, death instead of life. Like a father watching a child destroy themselves, my heart twists in pain as I see each lost soul, each life crushed under darkness. I do not desire to punish them, nor do I take pleasure in judgment. Rather, I sorrow, I weep, because I love every soul I have made. To me, each one is not a number, not a stranger's face, but a masterpiece, shaped by my love, breathed into by my own breath. That is why I sent my Son to open the way back to me, to reveal the depth of my love, to save everyone who is willing to receive. My will has been fulfilled in him. He is my Son, the true light come into the world, the way, the truth, and the life. When you follow him, you are not following a dry doctrine, not following a lifeless rule. You are walking in my will. You are letting his light guide you, his hand lead you, his heart kindle love and life within yours. My child, choose life. Choose truth. Choose love. Do not be deceived by false lights. Do not let sweet darkness pull you into chains. Remember, you are not alone. I am with you, waiting for you, arms open wide to hold you. You are my joy, my beloved. Let your life become a living testimony of my love, of my grace, of the power of my light in this world. And as you walk this way, you yourself will become a call to others, that they too may find their way home, that they too may live, be free, and be loved as you are. My beloved, listen deeply to every word I speak, for these are not mere sentences, but my heart calling out to you. You often think that doing my will is a burden, a string of trials beyond your strength, a perfection you can never reach. But I tell you, my will is not a ladder you must climb by yourself, but outstretched arms, welcoming you a path of peace already prepared. Doing my will is not about fighting on your own to become flawless, but about learning to surrender, to trust, to take my hand and walk step by step. Every time you stumble, I am there. Every time you are weary, I lift you up. Every time you feel broken, I cover your cracks with grace, turning them into places where my light can shine through. I know your weakness, but it is in your weakness that my strength is made perfect. You do not need to prove yourself strong before me, for I have known you, loved you, and chosen you before you could even call my name. You may think your flaws push me away, but on the contrary, they are where I draw closest. My grace is not to punish, but to heal, not to condemn, but to uphold. My spirit is not a burden on your shoulders, but a new power flowing through your very being, giving you courage, endurance, and wisdom beyond your natural ability. You fear failure, but I say to you, do not be afraid. Failure does not turn me away from you. I know every battle within you, every sleepless night, every tear you shed. I am not blind to them. I hold them all in my arms. This is why what I desire from you is not that you reach some impossible standard of perfection, but that you stay near me, that you let me lead you, teach you, transform you. Think of a child holding its parent's hand while crossing the street. It does not need to know everything. It does not need to be strong enough to protect itself. It only needs to hold the parent's hand. So it is with you. You only need to hold my hand, and that is enough. My child, this is why I keep calling, keep pleading, keep reminding you to return. It is not because I want to control you, nor because I delight in imposing upon you, but because I know that apart from me, everything you long for is but a shadow. The happiness you seek outside of me, though it may glitter for a moment, will ultimately fade like the morning mist. The success you build without me, though it may rise like a towering mountain, will in the end leave only emptiness, weariness, and loneliness. The life you pursue apart from me, though it may seem like freedom, is in truth a silent death within your soul. But in me, only in me, there is fullness of joy that does not fade, riches that neither moth nor time can destroy, and eternal life that no one can take away. This is not merely a promise for some distant future. It is a reality for every day you live. When you abide in me, you will taste peace, even in the storm, discover joy, even in tears, and receive strength, even in weakness. My beloved, do not think that obeying me is a loss. On the contrary, it is the path that leads you to true freedom and true wholeness. When you release what you have been clinging to, in order to grasp my hand, you lose nothing of true worth. You simply leave behind illusions to receive reality. When you refuse to follow the voice of darkness, you are not being restricted. You are choosing life instead of death. Every time you choose to do my will, even in the smallest matter, you are stepping into the flow of grace, opening the door to blessings I have long prepared for you. And how I rejoice when you do so, not because I need your obedience to make me greater, but because I know that path will bring you everything you truly desire. My child, this is the deepest truth I long for you to remember. My will is not merely a command, it is an invitation into life. I do not simply tell you to avoid evil. I am calling you toward what is best. I am not merely asking you to give things up. I am leading you to receive. I am not simply saying don't to you. I am saying do, step into peace, do step into freedom, do step into love. When you choose me, you are not choosing a set of rules. You are choosing a relationship. When you obey me, you are not becoming a slave to law. You are walking hand in hand with a loving Father who knows every breath, every dream, and every pain of yours. I know you still have hesitations, questions, and wounds that make it hard to trust. But remember, I am faithful even when you doubt. I am patient even when you delay. I love you even when you are weak. And it is precisely in your weakness that my grace works wonders. You are not alone. My Spirit is within you, guiding you, upholding you, and will never abandon you. I have seen your beginning, I know your destination, and I walk with you through every turn, every climb, every valley. There is nothing you go through that I do not know, no pain you endure, that I do not touch, no tear you shed that I do not wipe away. My beloved child, remember this. Above all, you are called not to become perfect by your own strength, but to live in my love. You are chosen not to find the way by yourself, but to walk with me. You are loved not because you are worthy, but because I am love. Everything you seek, joy, peace, freedom, hope, is ultimately found in me. And when you find me, you find yourself. When you choose me, you find the path you were born to walk. This is why I call you, why I wait patiently for you, why I rejoice when you obey. For my will is always for your good, because I am your Father, the one who never breaks his promise. Now, with a humble heart and a longing spirit, open your mouth and lift to me the deepest prayer of your soul. Almighty God, loving Father of my soul, today, I come before you with trembling yet yearning heart. Shine your light upon me, so that I may always recognize your will, whether in the stillness or in the storms of life. I ask that every small choice of mine each day, from my words, my gaze to my actions, may reflect your love and your truth. Help me to forgive when I am hurt, to love when I feel empty, to be patient when my heart is restless. I long to live as a vessel in your hands, so that my very weakness may become the channel through which your power flows. Glorious Creator, I bow before you with a melted heart. I realize that your will is not something distant, but the very breath close to me in every moment I live. Grant me clear eyes to see goodness amidst a deceitful world, gentle hands to lift up those who fall, and a heart soft yet strong to show mercy in every circumstance. Let me love you more deeply each day, love those beside me more fully, so that my life may become an unending song of praise to you. Heavenly Father, full of grace, I thank you for not hiding your will from me. You have given me your word as a lamp for my steps, and your spirit as the warmth that guides me. I thank you that each time I choose forgiveness, I feel your hand clasping mine. Each time I choose kindness, I know I am beating in rhythm with your heart. I thank you for turning my small daily acts into heavenly seeds sown into the world. Loving Savior, I bow my head in gratitude because you have called me, chosen me, and equipped me though I am unworthy. I thank you that every time I fall, you do not abandon me, and every time I am weak, you pour your strength into me. I am grateful that your will is not distant, but near, not burdensome, but full of love. I thank you that through each step I take, you are weaving a story more beautiful than anything I could imagine. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we may build a strong community of faith.